why it's really important for you to contact and connect with your inner wisdom, and also three really quick ways for you to be able to do so. So the reason it's really important for you to be able to access your inner knowing, your inner knowledge, your inner wisdom, is that nobody knows you as well as you know yourself. Okay, so even though you think there's all these experts out there, they're experts on themselves and they're experts on their fields, but when it comes to your inner knowing, what is right for you, there's nobody more of an expert than you are. Okay, because we've been led to believe that we should always look outside for answers, but my experience and my knowing is that the more you start to trust yourself, the better your life becomes, the easier your life becomes. Okay, so I'm going to share with you three really easy ways for you to start to do that. So first one is, you need to start to empty out your head with all the information, all the ideas that we carry around with it. So there's two or three ways of doing that really simply. One is that you write it out, you journal it, you just get everything that's in your mind, you just journal it out, you just write it. It's like, the morning pages kind of practice. So, maybe every morning or every evening you would write 2 or 3 pages, whatever it is, empty out your head, and then you get rid of that information. You get rid of those pages. You do not reread. You're not analyzing. You're not processing. You're not doing any of that. You're just emptying it out, and you just getting rid of stuff. And next day you do the same thing again. You write and you get rid of it. It's not rereading. It's just you just rip them up, throw them away, burn them, flush them down the whatever. I don't know. However, you're just getting rid. You're just emptying out. The other way is like some physical exercise, like some really intense workout, aerobic exercise that will serve to empty out your mind as well. And you sort of, it's like you're exhausting yourself, and then you do your thinking and your processing, because then the mind, the personality is less likely to get in the way of the information that you need and information that you can acquire. And the third way, okay, so that's first thing. First is like emptying out, so you creating space for information to come into. And how you start to get the access the information is to have questions, to write down those questions, and to just sort of have those questions, and then live with those questions. It's the inner self. It's not as fast as the brain. It's not giving you answers just like that. It needs time. It needs that kind of um it's a much gentler, slower system. It's more like, the difference between your body and your mind. Your mind can run to the other side of the world really quickly, whereas your body's going to take time. So you just need to allow it a bit more. It's like, it's the information is not coming from here, it's coming from deep within. You feel it is rising up from inside of your body. So you just ask the question and you just sort of live with it. And some of the techniques people use are sort of, you do what you are less confident with doing. So like, for example, answering, this is a really good one. It's like, if you ask a question, maybe write it down, ask a question, and then you write the answer with your less dominant hand. You will be surprised at the information that comes up, because you think you know exactly what you're going to write, but when you actually start to write it, it's going to give you different information than what you are used to. If you're not artistic, or creative, or visually creative, then maybe draw out your answers, because that, and it can just be figures, right? It doesn't have to be anything, beautiful. So it's like you're using the less used parts of yourself to be able to get more holistic kind of answers to yourself, to your information. Okay, so that's how the answers can start to come, or writing them down last thing at night, and then sleeping, and then journaling again first thing in the morning, and see what comes up. It's like you got to allow space until you get really good at this. You got to allow space. And for the inner self, it's almost like there's a kind of innocence about it. It's not fully especially in the early days when you're first starting out, it needs to know that it can trust you. It's like a child that's been neglected and mistreated. It doesn't automatically come and open itself up to you. You have to sort of give it chance to trust you, to for it to know that it's being listened to and it's being respected, the information they're sharing with you. And the third is, even if you get insight, and to know that the insights you get, they feel very different. They're not mental or even emotional. They're much deeper. There's that kind of sense of stillness and coming home, and there's a solidity, there's like a realness in knowing to it. And it's a quality, it's difficult to explain, but it's more of an experiential thing that you know when you get it. It's like, you know, you sort of throwing a pebble into a lake, into a still pond, and it's like when it's traveling down, when it goes and it sits right at the bottom, it's sort of hit home. That's when you know that that is found its resting place. So it's that kind of equality, is restful. And the other thing I want to say is that once you start to get this information and this knowing, to not act on it straight away, because it's like you're learning to walk. So you don't want to start running straight away. So you got to give yourself some time to for the information to resonate, to start to resonate, or start to infuse the rest of your life, the other parts of your life. So you just stay with that information. You're just getting to know. It's like dating. You're just getting to know this person, this aspect of yourself. So you don't want to rush off and do anything too drastic. So you just, it's very gentle kind of a process. So you just live with the information and you don't really act on it. Don't act on it for a little while. You just sort of, and then you start to sort of, you know, imagine how it would be if you do act on it, what it would be like. But initially, so you don't want to do anything too drastic. It's a very gentle kind of a process. So that's all I wanted to share with you today about how to start to connect with your inner self and inner wisdom, and to live from that more authentic, that deep knowing place, that place of satisfaction, stillness, fulfillment. I don't know those words. Yeah. It's the kind of things, it's the kind of feelings and sensations you don't get just simply by doing what the personality self does, which is like, you know, acquire things and set goals and meet them. And it's a different way of being. It's a more satisfying way of living and being. And if you combine this with the logical linear self, life becomes a lot more enjoyable. It becomes like it's become more multifaceted. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, hi Laura. Please leave me a comment, share your thoughts, and so tell me what other things you would like me to speak about. And yeah, just comment and let me know what you thought of it. And I hope you find it useful. Thank you so much. Speak to you soon. Bye.